Transitions are rarely easy. Something has ended, and before you can begin your new chapter, there's this in-between time, this middle. It's confusing, exhausting, dry. Yet it's also a very important time. There are lots of changes happening in you. On the surface, it may seem like nothing's happening, yet there are seeds growing under the soil. You just can't see it yet. They will sprout when it's time. For now, you just need to keep watering, feeding, giving it sun and shade. How long these seeds take to emerge depends on several factors. One is the extent to which we intercept unhelpful thoughts and behaviors. Imagine your thoughts as a cast of characters that claim they're your friends. In reality, they trip you up. Yet you can sidestep them or outsmart them. We each tend to have 2 or 3 favorites that dog us. One of mine is the perfectionist. See if you can spot yours. The first is the judge, the accuser that tries to motivate you, but in reality, your judge beats you up repeatedly over mistakes, wakes you up in the middle of the night worrying, gets you fixated on what is wrong with you and others, or your circumstances. And when something ends, that voice has a lot of nasty things to say. Yet you can learn to discredit this false accuser and get on with your agenda. Meanwhile, this judge has some accomplices, like the avoider part of us. It wants you to focus only on the positive, to avoid the difficult, to say yes when you should say, hold on there. It slyly tempts us to lose ourselves in comforting routines, to procrastinate on the hard but necessary stuff. Building the mental muscles that enable you to take some small actions, even when you don't feel like it, enables you to get to where you want to go. The controller in some of us takes a different tack. It sabotages by making you anxious to micromanage situations and other people. Your controller says, I've worked for you before. Let us bulldoze through this transition. But transition is a time to metaphorically waltz with those who want to help you. If you prod and push, you turn them off. So you need to build new muscles, to dance, to be agreeable, flexible, trusting. A cousin of the controller is the hyperachiever. He depends on constant performance and achievement for self-respect and validation. In transition, all of that feels in jeopardy. So hyperachievers prefer to get in a flurry of activities, often at the computer, at a safe distance from actually putting ourselves out there by calling people. It's easy to forget. The primary way to move forward is through connecting with others, not from sending out a rash of resumes. Most opportunities come from our network. Focus on bringing more life to your connections. The pleaser has a strong need to be liked. And during transition, it tries to help you cope by getting you involved in serving, rescuing, helping others. This may sound noble, but the pleaser makes it hard for us to ask directly for what we need. This in-between time is when you need to practice being clear and direct about what you want. The victim mentality is the most unlovable in this cast of characters. When things get tough, it wants you to crumble, give up, withdraw. In transition, others usually want to help, but an attitude that expects others to rescue you pushes people away. So the key is to identify and intercept this mentality through curiosity and exploring possibilities. You build muscle to take one step forward even when you don't feel like it. This frees up your natural creative energy. That is what will draw you towards your next new thing. The saboteur I call Restless is always in search of greater excitement in the next activity or in constant busyness. Restless is easily distracted, too scattered. In transition, it helps to focus on a limited set of activities that move you forward. If you're flitting from thing to thing, always starting something new, it's hard to create traction. Follow-through is vital in transition. If not, stakeholders may start to see you as an unreliable partner. Finally, in this who's who of self-saboteurs is the stickler. The perfectionist part of us who takes the need for order and organization way too far. It makes you highly critical of yourself and others, rigid. What you need during transition is to increase your flexibility in dealing with change and with other people's styles. If not, they can just smell the subtle criticisms wafting off you, and you may not even think you're doing it. People withdraw. Because no matter how hard they try, they can never please the stickler. Now, one way to disarm this perfectionist is to focus on the 80-20 rule. Happily, none of us is subject to all of these temptations, typically just 2 or 3. Remember that you have the internal resources to tap into great clarity, wisdom, certainty, courage. With practice, everything can be turned into some kind of gift that will ultimately serve you. Gifts like knowledge, strength, inspiration. How? There's an arsenal of techniques for dealing with these self-sabotaging behaviors. One of my favorites is a smartphone app with short daily mental fitness exercises, exercising your muscles in 3-minute bursts multiple times a day. These shape your vision, encourage your heart, enable you to act when you need to. Meanwhile, for pointers on how to get through your in-between time well, check out the next video, Tips for Navigating Your Transitions. See you next time.